Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Chasing the Whimsy. I am your host, Ben. Man, I still love that intro, man. That's so cool. All right. Episode 41. This may or may not be the second take, but we're doing it. Don't know what this is gonna look like. I didn't write anything out. Anybody who's been following me or has been chit-chatting with me, man, I've been all over the place the last week or so. We have some really cool merch now available on Amazon. So go to Amazon, search Chasing the Whimsy. You're going to find two notebooks. There's one that's the size of a composition book. What is that, 8 by 10? And then there's another one that's 8 by 5. I just saw them today, and I have some tweaks I'm going to make to them. So I'll go in and fix them after I get some more feedback from everybody. But I think we're going to go in, change them around a little bit. So I know the 8 by 10, the lines I wish were a little bit longer, so I'm going to try and fix that. But yeah, Chasing the Whimsy now is in the publishing business. So we are now publishers. We are working on a couple of other projects I'll get into in a second. But yeah, if you guys want to go to Amazon and take a look at Chasing the Whimsy, in the next couple of days, the 8 by 5s will have a second and third cover. So there's going to be multiple covers on them. So, buy whichever one you like. The 8 by 5, I think, is the better one right now. But both of them, what's really cute is if you buy them or if you've bought them, I know a couple of people have already bought them. On the back, you'll notice that it says it's the unofficial first edition, which means they're the beta versions. So after I fix and tweak them, we'll release the official first run. So anybody who has notebooks now or currently buying them in their shopping cart now, you will have some the first misprints before I go there and fix them. So there's not going to be too many changes. So they're still good notebooks. They still work. You can still write in them and everything else. But they are technically going to be like a beta version. So I got to work on some of the colors, some of the lines, a couple of other things, but we're going to get those fixed. And we'll get those updated periodically. So you guys can see at least 3 of the 8 by 5 covers, working on a couple of extra covers. And the 8 by 10s. Let me know if you guys like the 8 by 10s, like if we like the composition size, or if you have any recommendations for any other sizes. I think I like a 4 by 6 personally. So I'm just going to keep making books just because I'm a publisher now. That's what I can do. What else is going on? So now that we're a publisher, we are looking at, so I mentioned it on the live stream a couple times, and I think maybe last week. 37 was a big project. So we did a bunch of work leading up to 37. Now 37's over. Now I'm thinking what's the next milestone? I think obviously the next one is going to be year 1. So we have 2 projects that we're working on. One that has to do with picks. That one I can't get into too much, but it's going to be a take on our first ARG. I should have some stuff hopefully by the next couple of weeks on what that's going to look like. I might need a little bit of help. The second one is a book that I was hinting at for the last 2 weeks. I'm going to come out and just say it's going to be an art book. It's going to be art from Chasing the Whimsy year 1. So it's going to have all of our logos that we had commissioned. There's a couple of pictures in there, or a couple of logos you guys have never seen. And it kind of just give us a nice opportunity to kind of just show some of the art that we've done. I'll do all of the the fan art and gifts and projects that you guys did. Nikki, Rhiannon, Kelly, um, Sarah's mom with the crocheted gnome. So we're going to take pictures of anything that you guys want to send me. If you guys want to draw a sketch or something, I'll be happy to put you into this book. But we're going to try and put together a nice 60, 70 page art book. We'll have all of Sarah's art for all the little Whims comics. There's a couple of comics that no one's ever seen yet because it had, let's see, issue 6, Pokemon Anonymous. The version you guys can find right now online is the good one, but there was a first draft in which we created a rule that says gnomes have no knees. So in that book, you'll see that version and a description of why there's no knees. So it'll be kind of an interesting little nod to kind of show what all we've done this year for year one. So we got some really fun stuff with those. I'll get more into those once I get better ideas of what they look like. I've already started outlining what this art book's going to look like. So we can try and, get some samples out there for you guys, get you guys excited. All the stuff on Amazon. Yes. Like if you want to get a notebook, great. The beauty of right now, of publishing right now with Amazon, is I don't have to pay for anything up front. So there's no like huge push for you guys to buy stuff. Like I got extra gnomes laying around, like the little wooden tokens that I paid for that we have to pivot to for a different project. Like I'm in the hole right now on wooden tokens, but like now, if you guys don't buy this art book, you guys don't buy any of the notebooks, it's fine. They're there if you want them. We appreciate any support that you guys can do for it. And they're kind of cool. They're kind of fun to kind of have. So I'm going to keep making more of them, more covers, different sizes, and they're there if you want them, but no huge like push for you guys to get them. But the binding is really good. The colors are fantastic. And so we're going to work on the price point a little bit if we need to. So any feedback that you guys have with the books, size, pricing, suggestions for covers would be cool. Whatever you guys want. So I can do publishing stuff now. So if you guys have ideas for books, would be great. I want to do stuff with JJ's Yellowstone. We got my short stories that I'm working on, and I'm working on trying to publish the 3 interviews from episode 37. So that might be available also by July for year 1. So we got a couple of things that we're continuously working on. So it's going to be interesting and good stuff. What else do we have going on? Like I said, I don't know what this episode is going to look like. I have no idea. I've been a little preoccupied with this life. It is what it is. Probably tomorrow on the live stream, I might dive deeper into the bathroom shenanigans, get my bathroom remodeled. So we'll see what happens. What else is going on? We had Liam's wrestling tournament yesterday. So we'll get some updates on those eventually. But we're just waiting for him to get back. He did good. Second place, but we'll let him tell you what that means, what he had to do to get to second place. And he's gone next week for spring break. So it's going to be 2 weeks before you guys hear any of the wrestling stuff. But he did fantastic. Super proud of him. And he just straight killed it. So he will definitely be back in 2 weeks for wrestling and spring break vacation updates. I did talk to him and he confirmed that, yes, he would give us a full breakdown of wrestling and vacation. Let's see. All right. So today's episode is inspired by something that happened 20 minutes ago. We are currently recording at 9:30. we went to the store because we had to get gas. So it's easier to get gas now than it is in the morning because nobody wants to get up that early. And while we were there, so it was a Circle K. So on the one side, they locked the door. So you can only use one side. We parked on the wrong side. So we were getting gas. And then out of the shadows comes a man who's like, hey, can I wash your windows? Seemed like a nice enough guy, but like still kind of creepy at 9:00 at night. Seeing some guy like, I want to wash your windows. So that's going to be today's topic. And to discuss with us the topic. So the topic is going to be creepy / run-ins with quote unquote homeless people. Now, the small caveat is we're not making fun of homeless people. I totally get people hard on their times, and it's not making fun of them, but they do create some weird situations sometimes. And to kind of give us a story, we do have a guest with us today who is co-host of Chasing the Whimsy. We have Liam. How you doing, Liam?
Yeah, I didn't know I was doing that. I gotta stop eating. Good.
Welcome back. It's been a while since you've been on. We've all missed you. So we mentioned that you did some wrestling stuff. You got the trip coming. You excited to deep dive in a couple of weeks about your wrestling and your spring break?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So before we get into weird interactions with homeless people, maybe not even just homeless people, just like weird, sketchy. That's what it is. We're not going to call them homeless people, just weird, sketchy people.
It's funny though, because like probably half of our stories are all in like the same area.
So to kind of help set the mood, this was Liam's idea. Like he's come up with some really fun ideas recently. The web comics, the one that we just posted last week, the one coming out this week, and one next week were all his idea. But today,
oh man, sorry guys.
As we're recording at 9:30 at night, Liam has turned off every light in the house.
I'm kind of scared.
We are recording this for us, and he has the ring light set on a weird yellow and super dim. So the house looks creepy as hell right now.
No, that's that bad.
No, that one. Yeah, there we go. That's creepier. All right, Liam, do you have a interaction or story with weird, sketchy interactions with people?
Well, when I usually think of homeless people, like, well, the first thing that comes to mind is, well, we took a trip to Seattle for Go Fest 2022, right?
Yeah.
It was in the summertime. I mean, it was a really long day. We just got done going out, catching Pokemon, doing our Go Fest thing. Go back to like episode like what 15.
Yeah.
16. We talk a little bit more about Go Fest there.
Oh no, that was like 10 or 11 with Courtney.
Yeah. And we just got done, what's it called? Doing that all day. So then we wanted to go out and obviously get something to eat because, you know, it's vacation, do something fun. So while we were doing vacation, while we were going out to eat, there was a wait line, and in the wait line there was like some guys, like they said something to Kelly. I don't remember what it was. I don't think they were like flirting or anything. It was just like they were just like weird people who like one had like a missing eye and like they're all shaky. Looks like they've been on drugs for like years. And we were just sitting there, and there was some other guy on the like just laying there, not doing anything to anybody. And there was just it was us, and then some other young couple who were waiting to get seated. And I don't really know what the homeless man did. I mean, to like get the other guy's attention, that like kind of said something to Kelly but didn't. So not homeless kind of homeless man versus homeless man, right? We were just standing there, and then the young couple, the guy said, the guy's got a knife, and it was like a little box cutter that like he had, and he was some old man just wobbling over there, and then like obviously it was the homeless man wasn't old. He wasn't old. Well, he wasn't in shape either. So he got his blanket and like everything he had, and he started running. And what was I? 12, 2022? Yeah, I was 12.
11, 12, yeah.
Yeah, because it was in July, so I would have been 12 at the time. I was freaking out. I thought the homeless man. I thought the homeless man was gonna die by the not homeless man.
Because they were still close enough where we can hear like them arguing about something, but we don't know what they were arguing about. But it had to have been like 15 feet away, if that, like 15, 20 feet away. But like we can see them. They were over there, but still close enough to be kind of like anything can happen.
And like that, yeah, that was just going through my mind. I'm like, what if he gets stabbed? What's gonna happen? What if he stabs us? Like, and then what's it called? He like the homeless man started running down this alleyway, which is obviously the smartest choice.
Right.
And we see them disappear, right? And then the guy in the young, very good looking guy, I'll say that. From the young couple.
Out of nowhere, he just wants to throw that in.
He said something like, I don't hate to see something unfold like that, and he went chasing down the alleyway, and that was it.
And that's probably so. Seattle is like, it's a very walky, touristy area. So we walked everywhere for like the 2 days we were there.
I know, like Kelly and Megan like Seattle. I hated it. I didn't like it. There was hills everywhere. I mean, what's it called? The homeless people there, it just smelled like it kind of smelled in the right areas. It looked nice.
But like, there was definitely a lot of homeless people.
Like the alleyways, there were so many dark alleyways down there that you would just like see heads,
right,
and like blankets and like everything. And now looking back at it, I'm not that scared anymore. I mean, like probably when I was 11 or 12, if that homeless man has to wash our windows, I would.
Well, and it was the first time you've been in areas where people are sleeping on the sidewalks or in the alleys.
Well, I've seen it before at like some of our local parks, but like it's not. No one's ever like No one's ever intervened.
we heard a noise in the kitchen. We're both freaking out right now. Turn the light back on.
It was just like my first like ever like kind of seeing something so like realistic, like where it kind of just put my mind through a lot of things, and I was fine. I mean, went to the restaurant and I was just like, it's kind of scary.
It's like the difference between observing it and then actually being like a witness to it.
Yeah, and like what's it called? I remember I was in there. I was like they're like, we wouldn't let anything happen to you. Obviously, I mean, not looking back at it now. I mean, I was still a little kid, kind of. I haven't developed all the way. And I remember just sleeping in my hotel room, like my bed, like, and I was just kind of freaked out, and like just watching YouTube. I mean, YouTube helps a lot. Like cope my.
Right, so he's just like, let me find some other things to kind of desensitize myself from what happened.
Yeah, but like it kind of ruined my trip. I mean, I wouldn't.
It ruined your trip for sure. Like every homeless person you saw was like, they have a knife.
I didn't stop talking about it, really. I mean, like the pictures, like we had pictures. Go Fest was really fun that time. Like when we walked around the city.
Who's Tide?
Yeah.
Who's Marina? Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Like, yeah, because we went
It's supposed to be creepy. It's not supposed to be funny.
I know. I'm sorry. Who's Tide? Who's Marina?
It's a dumb ocean joke that he made up. It's not even funny. And then, but he thinks it's funny. So like it was a fun day, like walking around the pier, because it was the night after, not the Go Fest event, but it was the city event.
Yes.
So, they were both in one day, weren't they?
No. We were there for 2 days, but we were only able to
go to one. I remember, because you can only go for one day.
Because we did the park event on day 1, because we tried to go back day 2 to get you some merch in that line.
And then nothing was there. And then cool place. That's not the point, right? We're here.
Yeah, creepy. Yeah, creepy.
But like, I don't. Something about it, just alleyways and stuff. I mean, even now, it kind of freaks you out, but not as much. Especially like,
right,
star wrestler. But it's just like no one's gonna ever do anything, because I mean they might do it because they have nothing to lose, but like they're not gonna. Why would they do something to a group of like 3,
Right.
1 versus 3.
Right. Well, we try to calm you down a little bit about it because, like, Seattle's a very touristy place, and the whole like the infrastructure of the Pokemon Go event, like,
I'm gonna
if
be honest.
if the homeless people were out stabbing everybody, then obviously somebody would like the city would step in and be like, we need to control this, and or Pokemon wouldn't be like, let's go to the stabby city.
Yeah.
So, like, we try to use that to kind of calm me down. That says we wouldn't bring 30,000 people to Seattle if everybody's gonna get stabbed.
And like I'm being like on like the people in like what's it called? Times Square
Yeah,
in New York, they're not as bad as Seattle was. But like when you get to like Brooklyn and like the Bronx, we're like we were waiting because we didn't know where our Uber was, right?
right.
And there was just like this guy looking on the ground for something, and like my mom was like freaking out because it was me and my brother and my stepdad, obviously, and he was just there and like thank God he didn't go and talk to us
Right.
because we would have. My mom would have called the cops already. Like she was already scared because she don't want anything to happen to us.
Right.
And like, because I wasn't even scared though. It wasn't you guys. I feel like I matured more. And then like, there's a difference between like you're close to a car
Mhm.
because we didn't have we didn't have a car in Seattle or New York.
Mhm.
And there's a difference between having like we can get out this way,
Right.
instead of like we're not going to get out at all.
Right. Somewhere new. You don't have an exit strategy.
We don't know where we're going.
Right.
That's another kind of scary. I keep looking that way. Like nothing's there. Like that's why it's creepy though, because like I mean I'll have other stories and I can go more deep dive into it, but I want to hear what your story is.
One night we were driving. Maybe we were doing Pokemon. But we decided to go up the street a little bit to like the Circle K, the Walgreens. And what's funny is like we drive around and Liam's like, he notices them more now. He's a little bit more vigilant, like kind of like he's aware of things when we're driving around. And he's like, are they sleeping in the tree? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, sometimes they find a nice corner to kind of sleep. Oh, no, we were at Sonic. And we were getting food.
Oh, yeah.
And as we're waiting for our food, that for whatever reason took forever, we just like people watched these ones that weren't homeless.
Sorry to interrupt, but probably one of the most fun experiences that like we've ever had. Because we were in like, I don't know what was taking so long, like in the Sonic drive-thru, like it was 20 minutes.
Yeah. For some drinks. Like we weren't getting food. We were getting drinks.
We would usually, what's it called? We would always get like Sonic drinks and stuff. So we instead of like going through the drive-through, he could get like his points or whatever in order before and do it and like, but like, continue.
So there's a couple that we assumed lived in this truck, but then we watched the guy on a bike come up and talk to him, and then they left. And then there's another guy hiding behind some bushes behind like a power box, and he's like stalking around. We're like, what's happening? And then there's as we're sitting here, like the 15 or 20 minutes we're there, we watched like 3 people walk up on bikes and just talk to these people in this truck. And then all of a sudden,
because what was going, you can fit. You're almost done. Finish.
And then it's like all of a sudden, like they all left the truck. And we're like, well, what is happening?
Well, at first, you're like, oh, the person in the truck's getting robbed. That's what you thought.
Right.
And then, like, there was, like, a duffel bag dropped, right? And then there was people came and go. There was some guy with a huge shopping cart and then, like, went through and then came back. Person in the truck got out and back in. Like, we didn't know what was going on.
Like just people watching, you're like you could almost be like, all right, maybe they live in their car.
We made fun out of it too because like we were in the car and nothing was gonna go happen.
Right.
And like we were just like
we're just coming up with every scenario we can think of. We're trying to think of every movie we've ever watched
and stuff. Like that's a drug deal. Someone's getting robbed. Someone's dead in the truck.
Right. Oh yeah, it was a fun time. Like just kind of just watching it because we're just trying to like put ourselves in each of those people and be like, what do you think they want? Like, what do you think they're doing? And then when everybody left, we're like, well, we have no idea what happened. And we're like, did they just literally just rob this guy's truck? Like, is this like even their truck. We drove away, but
I feel like we should have stayed.
no,
No, it kind of died down after.
Yeah. So we see those, and then every once in a while when we're at the park, we see them like kind of like laying down sleeping. And yeah, you've gotten better about it. Like obviously, what I like that you do is like you don't panic, but you're not like wildly dismissive or like disrespectful. Like the guy tonight, um, you weren't like freaking out or like let's go. He came up, asked, and we were just like a nice and no thank you. And he was for the most part pretty respectful too about it. So, most of them are all like the idea is like
There's rough times,
yeah,
and then like there's some people who get themselves in that position. There's some people who are struggling. I mean, the ones I look at though, like that I like feel bad for, are the ones that are like with their strollers and like their kids and like having to sit there. But another story I have that's kind of funny. One night we were out. I have two actually.
okay.
There was one night we were out pogoing. Like two. These are pogo stories, right? And we like there's this like park we have, and we circled around it like once, right? The homeless people looked back, and then they're like, "Oh, whatever. He's gone now, right?" We did it again. They looked back again. They're like, "Oh, it's the same car, right?" We circle one more time. The guy's like, "Hey," gets up, and I'm like, "Dad, there's these people are mad." And you're like, "Okay," and you drive off, and then I'm like, "You should go back again to instigate it," and then like that's like the people who like they're just grumpy for no reason, but like
Yeah,
who cares? Like you're sleeping at a public park
right.
that like is not your like place. Just because you are sleeping there doesn't mean you own it. If someone wants to circle 3 times, maybe they're the ones on drugs. Like whatever. But the other pogo story I have is what's it called? We were it's the night I got like 5 shinies. We were just driving along and we take this certain route through our neighborhood where there's like not abandoned building but like a business building in the middle of this neighborhood, and then like we were just circling the parking lot, and there was just some guy with like a bag and like walking around. Like we didn't like he walked straight past us, but we didn't see his face. There was just a shadow. And like we what we did with the Walgreens and the Sonic story, we just started coming up with scenarios, and you like trying to make me laugh. Like you said, like he was doing laundry or something.
Like a big old bag. I'm like, hey, he's gonna be doing laundry.
Like, and we didn't see him again.
Yeah,
He disappeared. I don't know what happened.
I think that's what freaks me out the most. Is like I don't mind them. Like everybody for the most part, they like the rule of homeless is you don't bother the normies. Like, and what freaks me out is like as long as I know where you're at, I'm fine. It's when I turn around and you're gone because now I don't know where you're at. Like now I'm like, is this like I don't need a sneak attack, and that's what freaks me out the most. Um,
What I see like in the like, what's it called? We were in the gas station today, and I was thinking in my head, I'm like, what if you put a nail in our tire and he started robbing us like with a gun?
right?
Like just all those scenarios in my head, and I said to you when we were walking into the gas station, I hope he does something so I can beat him up.
he's still all aggro from wrestling like yesterday.
The adrenaline's still
Right?
in my veins.
But so all right, I'll give you my one bad story.
Maybe have a bad one.
I do. And I think you're a better kid than I was. But
I don't like the lighting. It's not because it's creepy. I just don't like the lighting. I'm being serious.
But like when I was a teen, we would go up to the grocery store, and we'd see the homeless guys, and then every once like one time we
Sorry. Is it you bad or them bad?
me bad.
Oh.
Like I was such a fucking shady person, but like we would take their bag and we would hide it behind a different tree, and then we'd like hide off in the corner, and then they'd freak out trying to find their bag. And I was like looking back, like that's such a shitty thing to do.
Like, sure, you guys had a laugh, but like, there was no point.
No, there was no point. It was just like
because like the only time you're gonna talk about it is talking about how bad you feel,
right? And it's just wow, it's like, and I get like it's something that you do when you're like 12, 13, but it's not something I think you would do. I hope you better not do something that shitty. But I did get better over the years. There was when I was working at the bowling alley. God, that was forever ago now. There was a guy named Daniel, who I don't think he was homeless. I think he was part homeless, but he also had, and I think problem with a lot of the homeless is, like you said, they are on rough times. But what happens too sometimes is there's like a mental illness that kind of sometimes goes with it. But Daniel, he would talk about having work, like some of like those day works, like he'd go to like a Home Depot and something. He'd pick up some like day jobs and stuff. But every summer I would see him, and for years when I was working at the bowling alley, I would always see him, and he'd come into the bowling alley, and I eventually found out his name was Daniel, and he would
the janitor you were talking about that
I don't think he was a janitor, just the weird homeless guy
that you wanted to go into the bowling alley, that you wanted to see if he still worked there.
Oh no, different guy.
Okay.
But so Daniel would come in, and I'd give him money. I'd always just give him money. Like it got to the point where like some people are like, well, they're just gonna use it on alcohol. And it's like, what else?
Why assume though? Like, first, it's none of your business.
Right.
First, second, like I said, what if they have kids that they just don't
Right.
want to have suffering in like the hot sun, or like it's cold outside, right? It's none of your business. I mean, if you don't want to give them money, then that's your choice. Why does it matter what like other people do?
And to be fair, my $5 isn't going to change the guy's life. And if he wants to get a beer and help get to sleep, or just like help,
emails us,
right?
Man, I'm living in a mansion.
Maybe, and because it goes back to like one of those things where I don't remember where I heard it, but it was like, what do you do if you die, you go to heaven, and God's like, you don't get in because I was that homeless guy Daniel, and you were a total shithead to me. And I'd be like, not saying that Daniel is fucking Jesus, but but no, I got to the point where it's just like, yeah, I'll give him $5. Like, who cares? And then every once in a while, my friends would be like, oh God, what are you doing? I'm like, this is Daniel. Like, I've known him for years. He comes by. He's a nice guy. And I'm like, hey, if I can help the guy out for a little bit, it is what it is. Like my $5 isn't going to change his life. So, whatever I can do to help him out with his day.
What if he buys a scratch off and he wins $1 billion?
You probably not, but hey, you never know. But there is so that was okay. So bowling alley would have been circa like 05, like 2004, 2005.
Okay, but your stories get boring after like
no, they do.
08.
Yeah, dude. For sure. Like I'm a boring person. No, all of my stories after like 2008, I can't really say right now. Like there's a certain statute of limitations, or you can't hear them. Like
when I'm 16 stories.
Yeah, like I got some good stories from when I was older.
There.
But when you were 3, and I think it was on the camera that we found in the backyard, the old Cars camera. I think I have pictures of them. When you were 3 or 4, we used to go up to that McDonald's, and I used to make you go and pay for your own stuff.
You did?
Yeah, I used to like you go up and buy your own like Happy Meal, or if you wanted something, I'd walk you up there, but I'd make you talk to the people. And I saw Daniel there, and I bought him lunch. And I believe I have the picture, but you took a picture of Daniel.
Okay.
So, I mean, you were definitely way too young to realize like that. We knew that he smelled, but yeah, he was a nice enough guy that he let you take a picture of him. So, I have not seen Daniel in I saw him at a bus stop 5 years ago.
Do you think he's still hanging around though here?
I don't know. And what's interesting is
that's another thing I think about homeless people. How long have they been there? And
how long can you do it? I don't know. And that because they're like seasonal too. Like when it gets super cold out, you see them all. Like, I don't know, because like there's like certain times of the year where you see lots of them, and then I just don't know, like, are you like nomads and you kind of just keep moving, or you get to a point where, you know, you find an old friend and you take a trip and you go and just to another city and kind of just live off whatever you can and just travel.
If I'm homeless, like, it would be hard to city, like, to state, like,
Yeah.
hop, but I'd make the best out of, like, not having a house,
Right.
and visit places that I could.
Right, because just because you're homeless doesn't mean you have zero money. Maybe they're just like, I lost everything when the housing crash happened in 08.
Because
And
$1,000 won't get you anything.
No, but it'll get you on a bus, and then you're like, maybe I want to just mooch off. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have enough homeless knowledge.
Something to do in the summer. Find Daniel.
I would love to find Daniel. He's a really nice guy. I know that he finds like there's a shelter. I know a lot of them go to like these shelters and stuff, and they kind of pick up work in these shelters sometimes, where like they'll help clean up and everything else, and they kind of do these. There's some of these programs. But I don't know. Like I said, it's been like 5 years since I've seen him. He's always up in this area. You know, I hope he's doing well. You know, I always hope for the best for him. You know, wherever they're doing. If maybe he did get better. Maybe he finally, you know, quit drinking, got a little bit more, got his faculties back together. But yeah, sometimes it's just hard. You know, so I like to help out where I can when I can. Like every once in a while, like people come up at the gas station and be like, "Hey, you got a couple bucks? I'll throw them a couple bucks." Like, you know, and again, it goes back to like, do whatever you need to do.
I'll
with
do it
it.
at a
Like,
gas station, just not a park, because at a park it looks sketchy.
right? And like, I can't outrun. like, can I outrun you? Like, at least at the gas station, there's witnesses and lighting. Like
Your car.
right? So I don't know.
Does anyone like you're at a park, right? And they like knock. Have you ever had someone knock on your window besides like a police officer?
No, man, that freaks me out, dude.
If like someone ever knocked on my mom's window, she'd like speed up. She like
just drive away.
Yes, she'd freak out.
Yeah.
Like we're at a stoplight, it's a red light.
Yeah.
She would start driving.
Yeah.
Cause like there's like places too where they're like sit on the side of the road and then like they go up to cars and they like look in the window and like
don't look at my window.
Yeah.
Wait until I roll down the window and stick my hand out with some money. Then you come over and talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it does suck. And I wish I knew more about it, because I do think it is a problem, and I think it would be something that
it's hard to understand without living through it.
Yeah, for sure. But it would be like, I don't, and it's weird. You think that we would have better like foundations or like donations or charities to kind of help. I know there are some, but no one advertises them because we'd rather help, you know, the kids or the babies or the old babies or the cancer. It's kind of hard to be like, hey, let's give a bunch of money to the homeless people, and we're like, you know, because there's that mindset that we have against them sometimes.
Not like, well, how you cope with that is you just like you give money to like a homeless shelter, and the people who want help will go get help, and then the people who are trying to help the homeless people will feed them and give them everything they need, and then that's how the homeless shelter will spread and be like, yeah, they're here to help. They're not here to what's it called, hurt or harm you. Because you're right though, no one really promotes any homeless charities. I mean, the only thing I can think of is Mr. Beast giving toys and stuff to homeless shelters for children and stuff, which she does everything for everybody now. But
are there any charities that you would donate to? Yeah, is there any charities that you would donate to?
St. Jude Children's Hospital.
You like the Children's Hospital? I'm trying to think, who do I do it?
The one that scams everybody.
Jude doesn't scam everybody.
No, I know St. Jude's doesn't scam everybody.
March for Dimes used to.
Yeah, you told me about that. That's why you don't donate to the McDonald's stuff.
And it's weird. And I was like, I used to feel bad to be like, because they always ask you like, hey, you want to donate the change or the dollar to this
You wanna
charity?
donate 5 cents? No.
And currently right now I donate. No, hold on. I used to donate to the Wayne Foundation, but something happened with their charity. They used to help women that were trafficked and helping them get.
That always sucks.
Yeah.
Like, that's another going to donate to, or like like rape victims too,
Mhm.
or like child trauma, like
Mhm.
like parents died or like watch murder happen.
Right. But the one so I was donating to them for years, and then I took it out of there, and then I donate to Rain. I forgot how to spell it. It's like it's another human trafficking program. So I am all about donating.
Some of the things you watch though about human trafficking, like it kind of opens your eyes.
Dude,
It's like
it's
crazy.
Dude, like we'll have to go like a very special episode and talk about that. Like it is.
We can stop that now.
Let's go into an hour. Yeah,
we can talk about a black market episode. Like,
yeah,
a
but
different time, because like,
but it is important to donate to a charity, and as long as I think the only reason why I ask is make sure that you know what it is that you're donating to, and because like the March of Dimes, like they got to a point where I don't even think they exist anymore, but they used to like. So everything that you donated, what they ended up doing was keeping like most of the money and calling it administrative fees. So it was always like really sketch when you get to some of these charities where you're like, well, where does the money actually go?
there was a what's it called, a scam on a famous group of YouTubers.
Oh yeah.
Phase. They had a charity called Save the Kids, and like there was a big promotion for it, and like apparently there was millions of dollars donated to it, and there was not even kids. Like the guy, they came out with the video. There was like a exposing, I guess, of like Phase. The guy that they said who stole the money made a video first, and then they had to watch that video and get the legal evidence, and then like sue him. And I don't think Phase did it. But it was just none of the money was going to any children. None of the
and they were just taking everybody's money, because like all these YouTubers were like, send us money, and they just filtered all this money into this fake charity. I think most of that money got back to whoever donated it, so thank God for that.
Yeah.
All right, well, kind of a downer on that one, but leave some comments. Let me know what charities you guys support.
Any homeless stories?
If you have any homeless stories, and who do you support in the charities? I'm always looking to, donate and help out a cause where I can. So I like Rain, and anything in the.
That'd be funny.
What?
You can cut this out, but like every person that buys a notebook goes to a charity of the commenter's choice.
It wouldn't be of the commenter's choice, but
would you do a poll?
We could do something where if you and I agreed on a charity that we liked, absolutely, we can definitely create one of the notebooks that says everything that comes from that notebook. We would definitely donate on behalf of Jason the Whimsy and listeners. I have no problem doing something like that. All right, I think that's all we got for you guys.
Yeah, Whimsy.